So one thing I took away from the new Fire Emblem Engage trailer was that it seems like weapon durability might be out. Now, I hope it's not, because that is kind of part of Fire Emblem's core identity, in my opinion. I think the permadeath, the weapon durability, the army management, the support system, all these things are part of the game's core identity, and I think removing one of them could be a bad thing. Now, the game doesn't necessarily need weapon durability to be good. You could always have like weapon rarity, so like, for example, iron weapons would still be kind of weak but kind of accurate, and then as you increase the item's strength and quality of the material, it gets better, maybe less accurate. Maybe it's heavier. Like that would be like there's still ways. They already balance the weapons in this way, but I think weapon durability is really useful, especially when you have things like combat arts, because then it takes weapon durability into account. So then, if you want to conserve money, you might consider that. Now, in the case of Three Houses, I feel like the weapon durability doesn't matter as much if you're playing the game normally, even on Maddening, because it's just easy to make money. So it doesn't really matter. Now, in some of the older Fire Emblem titles, when you only have finite amounts of cash and it's hard to make money, and you get like a red gem or whatever, and you have to sell it, and then you can buy weapons, and then that's it. Like the game just kind of gives you resources, and you can get some resources from killing enemies, maybe opening chests, and so on. It kind of removes the economic aspect of war from the game, which I think is a mistake. Personally, I think weapon durability has a spot in Fire Emblem. I think it makes a lot of sense that there's weapon durability. And I think by removing it, they would take away part of the game's identity, and I don't think that'd be a good thing. Now, all that being said, in Three Houses, the weapon durability could be much better, for sure, because it's just kind of in this state where it exists and it's there, but it doesn't really matter that much, because you can just pay for your weapons to be fixed. So it's more like an annoyance than something that actually matters. Whereas in like previous games, like I distinctly remember playing like Sacred Zones, and I didn't do the Tower of Valny scumming where you just like keep farming the Tower of Valny. I just played the game straight from the beginning. And when you play the game in that way, you can't really just spam items. Like, you have to be kind of careful, and especially if you get too many extra battles, because the extra battles didn't give you money either. You would burn through weapons, and then you would have like units with only like a few usable weapons. So you had to be careful with how you managed your weapon durability. And this was the thing: you had to be careful with your economy, and you had to be careful with your weapon durability. And I think by removing weapon durability, they're basically making the game easier in a way, because now the economy of the game doesn't matter as much. And if you didn't like that aspect of Fire Emblem, that's fine. But I hope it's at least a setting that you can turn on. But I have a creeping suspicion that the durability is gone, and that's not going to be good, in my opinion. I hope it stays, because it's honestly like one of the things I like about the game, like managing your army, because you're managing an army in this game. That's like the whole thing. That's the whole point of Fire Emblem, in my opinion, is positioning your units well, having a long-term plan for them, having a short-term plan for them, and battle to battle. Managing your resources. That's like one of the core things. So I'm definitely concerned that one of the core things has been seemingly removed, because who knows what else has been changed. But as long as the game is difficult and presents a challenge, I'm okay with it. So if they want to remove weapon durability and they have a good reason for doing so, fine. But I would definitely prefer if we still have it, because it's just such a good thing, I think. Now, one way to get around weapon durability would be to make like super rare items not have durability, like legendary things, so that everything else does, and then maybe like a handful of things don't. I think that could be fine. But just removing it outright, I'm not so sure. I'm a huge fan of that, especially playing. So I did a Three Houses run where I had I didn't do auxiliary battles, paralogs, DLC, or online, or any of that stuff that gives you extra resources. And it was actually really difficult to manage money. And it added this new aspect of the game that was pretty engaging. it allowed me, it didn't allow me, it forced me to carefully think about if I wanted to use a combat art. Like, that's just because of economy. And personally, I enjoyed that. I thought that was very fun. But if you don't enjoy things like that, I could see why that would be, like, annoying. Alright, let's use Onslaught. Or maybe we should shoot this guy. Let's just shoot these guys. Let's get rid of some of these guys over here. I'm playing this live. This isn't, like, pre-recorded footage. I'm actually playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is probably my favorite Fire Emblem overall. I've played like 5 of them, but this one I like the most because of the customization, and I love maddening mode, so that's like my favorite thing about it. All right, let's hit you. No, we can't. All right, you. We have physic, I believe, right? Not yet. Okay. But weapon durability definitely adds a lot. And one thing I was kind of disappointed with was how they handled tomes in Three Houses, where you just have like free spells. And I could kind of tell they were moving in this direction when it's like, you get 2 free warps. And it's like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, warp has always been such an inaccessible thing. Like, you always get it like mid to late game, and you get like 1 or 2 warp stabs throughout an entire Fire Emblem game. And then the game is just like, here you go. Here's 2 warps. Here's 2 warps every battle. Here's 6 rescues every battle. Here's 10 physics every battle for free. Here's 2 meteors every battle. Here's 4 bolt. It's crazy how many spells you get for free. Like, this is super early game, and like, here's these free spells. And it scales as you go. So I could kind of tell they were going in that direction. I think a lot of players probably just don't like weapon durability, and that's fine. Like, you don't have to like it. Like, if the overwhelming majority hates weapon durability, I can kind of understand why they would remove it, because ultimately that's what influences these decisions. If literally like 5% of the population of people who play Fire Emblem like weapon durability, I could see why they would remove it. Because if you're just catering to a small section of your audience, why would you keep it, you know? That actually makes sense. That's like a logical thing. Alright, hopefully he hits. Nice. We're fighting in the woods. For turtling and tanking. Alright, I think we can survive this. These guys are pretty weak. She can get hit for 10 twice, but she has +5 health, so she's fine. And then these guys, I'm doing Silver Snow, so they can just fuck off. Alright, let's heal you. I'm just doing, like, this is just the first mock battle. But, yeah, I'm definitely skeptical of them, but... Or, I'm not skeptical. What's the word for it? Not a fan of it, let's say that. I'm not a fan of removing weapon durability. If they did, and if they are removing it, I hope that they keep it. Because it's one of the aspects of Fire Emblem that I enjoy. Removing it, like, I'm still gonna get engaged for sure. If they remove it, like, I'm not gonna not play Fire Emblem because they don't have weapon durability. But it just won't be as enjoyable to some degree. Now here's the thing too. If they're shifting the economic management, if they're like removing that or mitigating that, and they want to emphasize the tactical aspects of the game, like the actual gameplay, by implementing this ring system, that's fine too. Like, if the entire system just becomes about managing resources in terms of like your abilities and what's on the field, and the game just becomes a more tactical game instead of a game that's about managing an army, that's fine. I mean, there'll still probably be army management to some degree, but I can see it becoming less of a thing. So, like, it's hard to say if that's good or bad. I'd have to play it to kind of have an opinion on it. But overall, if they want to just increase the amount of tactics present by adding, tile effects, which is one of the new things they're adding in Engage, which does seem interesting. So remove weapon durability, add tile mechanics. Maybe money isn't as much of a problem, so you're not really caring about your economy, but instead you're focusing on unit synergy, builds, tile synergy, stuff like this, and like combining abilities for great effect. And now if the game is also hard and it has that, I will have zero complaints about that game, because the thing I like about maddening mode is that it's usually pretty difficult. Now, if you use exploits, it's easy, but right now in the run I'm doing, it's going to be a Crimson Flower run, and I'm not using auxiliary battles or paralogs, and this is just for my own enjoyment, which probably sounds weird because it's like, how is that enjoyable? Like to just like not do anything. You're like not allowed to use most of the systems in the game, but I find it very fun. So I have to min-max within like mainline missions only. But if they just want to increase the strategic aspect, this could still be really fun and a really good game. All right, so he's gonna die if he does that. He's not gonna actually die though. This is a mock battle. All right, let's drop her down. She'll use PK Thunder. Hit this boy. So that's it for this one. I just wanted to talk about them removing weapon durability and what it does to Fire Emblem, because it definitely does something. Here, let's Gambit. If we can hit. So thanks for checking this out. Definitely like and subscribe if you enjoy these discussion type videos. They're kind of fun to make. I'm not going to cover this playthrough like I did with the other one. This will be, like, I'll be doing this playthrough. Alright, hit. Oop. Nice. But I'll just have, like, clips of it in random videos. Like, I'm playing this live right now, so this is technically live commentary. Technically speaking. But it won't be, like, a full playthrough where I, like, play the game for 2 hours straight while recording. Because that's, honestly, it's hard to talk about something for, like, like, some kind of topic for 2 hours. But, so yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for checking this out. I'll see you in the next one.